What are your views on sobriety and cannabis consumption? Because
Yeah.
I know First Peter 5:8, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, walks about like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. And we've obviously seen Trudeau legalize cannabis, and a lot of people around my age group, even younger,
Yeah.
older, like all day, every day, are consuming cannabis, right? So, how should a Christian approach the topic of cannabis?
Well, cannabis in itself, biblically, according to Genesis chapter 1, or any substance that grows from the ground, is not wrong. The Bible says God made everything good. It's good. It just has a purpose. And I think when people take things for the wrong reasons and the wrong purpose, that's when, we distort the purpose of that thing. So I'm not against cannabis or anything that grows off the ground. It's just when we start taking taking too much of something, and now we're out of our mind or we're drunk, that's when we've gone too far.
Hmm.
So there's medicinal uses for cannabis, CBD. There's medicinal uses for wine. It thins out the blood. It has its benefits. Um, I think people end up taking these things for the wrong reasons, and they end up living off of the high when God is wanting us to trust in Him to have that spiritual high, and that weed doesn't even give you a high. It actually, robs you of your money, of your brain cells, because it wasn't really used for that.
Mm.
It's not meant for that.
Yeah. Because a lot of Christian thinkers will say that it opens you up to demons and demonic forces easier. Do you feel like that, or do you feel like they're unrelated maybe?
I think anything that dullens your mind could do that, especially if your heart is in the wrong place. Jesus says that it's not what goes in your mouth that defiles you; it's what comes out of your heart that defiles you. And so I think what like overindulgence in anything. I think people make themselves drunk with food. Sugar addiction is real. And I think that's opening people to spirits of gluttony, spirits of sloth, a lot of issues coming from abusing anything. So again, I stick with the fact that, there's actually a Psalm, I believe it's Psalms 110, if I'm not mistaken, or 109, says that God made the herbs of the field for for the usage of man. He's made wine to make the heart merry. So everything has a reason, but it has to be used in the right way. So like if you abuse something, yeah, you're gonna be in a vulnerable state. And anytime you're in a state where you're too vulnerable, where your mind is just not thinking clearly, that can open you up to any spiritual thing. And that's where a lot of the Christian thinkers are like, hey, it's not. But the actual weed, I don't think is the problem, because people go on the operation table all the time, and they get injected with morphine, or they're put to sleep. Are we saying that every time someone goes and gets an operation, they're opening their doors to demons? I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
So the intention of the heart has an issue to do with it, and someone standing with God. But yeah, God is just telling us not to abuse things. And I think that's the right biblical answer.
Okay. Should Christians be celebrating Christmas?
I think it's a matter of conscience and choice. Jesus was not born on December 25th by most scholarly most analysis. Um, it was clearly a holiday instituted by the Roman Catholic government at the time to wipe out paganism. But and a lot of the practices today are not, or doesn't have anything to do with the Bible. So I personally don't celebrate Christmas, but I don't condemn someone for doing that, because I celebrate Christ every day. I think it's great that we have a holiday in the nation that technically has Christ in it, that we can celebrate his birth. I think that's wonderful. So, you know, if I were to celebrate it, I probably wouldn't put up a Christmas tree. I probably wouldn't put up stockings, because that has nothing to do with Jesus. But I'm not against any Christian celebrating Christ at any day. You know, so I think it's a good thing that we have something for Christ in the culture. But I understand why people don't celebrate it, like myself, just because of the paganry about it. And there's nothing in the Bible that tells us that there has to be a yearly calendar, although the three wise men did celebrate or come and present gifts at his birth. So, I mean, I think it's just a matter of conscience and opinion. And I don't think it's evil or wrong to celebrate Christmas.